Day 1 of the Chord calendar series, where we infuse blank dot diagrams with powerful musical knowledge, massively upgrading our chord skills. We're going to do it in 4 steps. First, how to play it physically, then how to understand it, and then how to see it on the fretboard, and finally how to use it, what chords it likes to go with, and how artists will actually put it into use. So first step is to check out what chord we have for today, and it's going to be, oddly enough, kind of a rare one, an F sharp major chord. And the way we play that, 3rd finger here on the 4th fret D string. Try to get that 3rd finger to lean over to the right a little bit. Put it about 2/3 of the way close to the metal, 2nd finger next to the metal, and the 1st finger on a flat, just like that. The root is going to be on the D string. And if you were strumming it, you'd have to take your 3rd finger and kind of touch the underside of the string, but you wouldn't be able to hit the E string. But most of the time we'll be plucking it, just like that. Okay, so make sure you don't have too much space underneath here. Make sure these joints are curved. And finally, thumb is behind, 45-degree angle. Let it move really fluidly. Okay, next step is how to understand this chord. So if we go here and we say, I want to play a major chord, we need any given note. You have to go 4 frets up, 1, 2, 3, 4 to get a major third, a happy third. Go 3 more frets up, get the perfect 5th. That's the major chord. Now we happen to be starting on C. So we're playing a C major chord, but what we got to do now is try to get it to the F sharp. So we're going to rotate it around, measure it out to the F sharp, and sure enough, and what we find for this is to make an F sharp major with the same measurements, we need F sharp, A sharp, and C sharp. And that's the F sharp major chord. Okay, now how to actually see that on the fretboard is a whole different thing, because we have to see the entire fretboard to understand where this is coming from. So if we turn on every F sharp, A sharp, and C sharp, we'll see our chord lit up right there. Now this might look a little hard. There's a whole lot going on, but if we just consult Cage, C, A, G, we happen to be starting kind of in the G. Can't really use the G because these two are not part of the chord. So we're kind of starting in a G form, then going to the E. You can see that's where it comes from. It's like a little mini E shape. After that comes the D shape. After that comes the C shape. And after that finally comes the A. So we are using an E form, F sharp major chord, and we're turning off, rid of everything except the E, and we're turning off the E and the A strings to be left with this chord. So that's how it fits in the Cage, which is super important because we don't want to just memorize a bunch of these shapes. We have to always stick it back to the original Cage shape, and then we'll understand it so much better, how to use it, how to make it minor, and how to figure everything else out. All right, that's step number 3. Step number 4 is how to use it. For this, one of my favorite things is looking at the cycle of fifths or the braid, because that really helps us put it into context. For example, if we wanted to look at that F sharp major chord, we can see the chords around it. And we can see that the center of gravity, that vortex, is on F. Now, because it's just a major chord, we look at our chord vocab here and say, okay, anytime I see a capital Roman numeral is where the F sharp could be. Now, we're going to focus only on the top one just because it's the first time through. So we could have a 1 chord. And the reason we do this is because every one of these Roman numerals has a different feeling. There's rest. The 1 would be rest. If I wanted to feel like a motion chord, we would treat it as a 4 chord, which would change our key. And we could also have it as a tension chord or a 5 chord and treat the F sharp like a 5 chord in the key we're in. So we have our choices here. So how will we do that? Well, we go back to our cycle of fifths and we say, okay, if I click on the F sharp there, what's going to happen is it's going to put me in the key of F sharp major. So it would look like this in F sharp major. F sharp would be the 1. You can really hear how that 1 sounds very stable. The B would be the 4. 5 would be the C sharp or D flat on the circle of fifths. All right, you can see here that F sharp major chord really sits nicely as a 1 in the key of F sharp majors. So if we go over here and I say, okay, what if I'm in the key of B and give B the center of gravity? Well, then you're going to see the same thing here. I still have my F sharp major chord will still fit, but now the 1 is B. So I have a B, 4, and 5, and B feels like the point of rest. So here's F sharp major as a 5 chord. If I go to the key of C sharp, or on the cycle of fifths, the D flat, what we're going to see is the F is going to be like a 4 chord or a motion chord. So here's the 1. Right? So there the F sharp is acting like a 4 chord or the motion chord, and that all depends on how you frame it up in your cycle of fifths. There's one more possibility I want to look at. That's the key of B minor. Okay, and the reason that is going to sound good is because F sharp is going to be the 5 chord. So we have things like, let's say Hotel California. And if I use the harmonic minor, it's the dominant of the minor of B. So B minor will actually be the center of gravity there. So I hope that makes sense. Let me know if you like this format and if there's anything you want to see changed. And I know we're behind right now. I'm doing January 1st and we're like mid-January, but I promise we're going to catch up and we're going to have a full year of amazing chords and learning how to actually use them and understand them so that you can use them as you wish in your own music. All right, good luck.